What did Taehyung whisper to Jungkook in that emotional airport embrace? And why did the cameras capturing it send ARMY into panic and speculation worldwide? What really happened in that split second when Taehyung, with tears streaming down his face, leaned his head toward Jungkook's shoulder and whispered something only he and Jungkook could hear? Why did Jungkook freeze for a moment before tightening his arms around Taehyung, as if that whisper carried a weight heavier than anything spoken publicly? ARMY, before you continue reading this shocking breakdown of the moment that changed everything, make sure you like, comment what you think that whisper meant and subscribe, because the truth behind this captured moment may not be what you expect, and the clues hidden in their expressions will leave you breathless. The moment took place in the middle of the bustling airport, where cameras flashed relentlessly, fans screamed hysterically, and staff tried to keep the chaotic energy under control. Jungkook had just arrived, wearing a simple black hoodie and a mask that could barely hide the exhaustion in his eyes. Taehyung, who had been surrounded by tight security, had looked composed at first, calm, cold even, as if the rumors swirling online for days had drained him of emotion. But that composure shattered the second Jungkook approached him. For a split second, the world seemed to slow down. Jungkook stepped closer, removing his mask just enough for Taehyung to see his expression clearly. Taehyung's breath hitched. Then, with no hesitation, Jungkook wrapped his arms around him. The embrace was not staged, not for cameras, not for the public. It was the kind of hug that only happens when two people are overwhelmed by emotions they can no longer hide. And that was when it happened. Taehyung, trembling slightly, lifted his hand to Jungkook's back, clenched his fingers in the fabric of his hoodie, leaned in and whispered something into his ear. The whisper lasted barely 2 seconds. But the way Jungkook reacted was what set the entire fandom on fire. He froze. His eyes widened. His breathing changed. For a heartbeat, Jungkook didn't hug him back. Then suddenly he tightened his hold, pulling Taehyung closer, pressing his cheek against Taehyung's hair as if trying to protect him from everything. From the cameras, the crowd, the rumors, the world. That reaction alone sparked a wildfire of theories across social media. What could Taehyung have said? Why did Jungkook look so shocked? Why was Taehyung crying in the first place? What truth lay hidden in that whisper? To understand the intensity of the situation, one must look at the days leading up to the airport moment. Photos of Jungkook with a mysterious woman had circulated online, triggering confusion, heartbreak, and chaos within the fandom. Taehyung remained silent through it all. Silent even as ARMY begged him to say something. Silent while rumors twisted into wild narratives. Silent while millions searched for answers that never came. His silence itself became a question, a cliffhanger, a painful mystery. Then came the airport. Taehyung walked in with a stoic expression, the kind that hides storms behind the calm surface. But Jungkook, who had been avoiding cameras for days, seemed determined that this moment would not pass without clarity. The way he approached Taehyung had purpose. The way he reached out had urgency. And the way Taehyung broke into tears the moment Jungkook touched him revealed emotions that had been building silently and painfully. The cameras captured every frame. The trembling, the tension, the whispered words, the embrace that looked like both an apology and a confession. Some fans claimed they saw Taehyung's lips form the words, "Why didn't you tell me?" While others believed they saw something more emotional, something deeper, something that felt like, "I thought I lost you." But the truth remains locked between the two, living only in the whispered breath that brushed Jungkook's ear. Jungkook's reaction, however, gave away more than words ever could. His expression changed from shock to guilt, from guilt to fear, and from fear to something fiercely protective. His arms tightened around Taehyung as if he wanted to shield him from everything that had happened, everything that had been said, everything the world misunderstood. Fans closest to the scene reported seeing Jungkook whisper something back. Taehyung's shoulders shook a little harder after that, suggesting that whatever Jungkook said in return pierced straight through him. The airport noise faded into background static as the two held each other, surrounded by flashing lights, but alone in their own emotional universe. What did Jungkook whisper back? What truth passed between them in that fragile moment? Could it be an apology? A reassurance? A confession? Promise? Speculation grew. Some believed Jungkook said, "I'm sorry," while others were convinced he said, "It's not what you think," and a smaller group insisted he said, "I should have told you first." Witnesses said Taehyung responded with a faint nod, as if acknowledging something he had been waiting to hear for days. Their embrace lasted longer than expected. Too long for a casual greeting. Too emotional for a public display. Too charged for two people caught in rumors of conflict and misunderstanding. Then, as they slowly pulled apart, Jungkook kept one hand on Taehyung's shoulder, steadying him as Taehyung avoided eye contact for a moment, wiping his tears discreetly. The cameras caught that too, the redness around Taehyung's eyes, the trembling in his jaw, the way Jungkook subtly guided him aside to give him space. Even through sunglasses and masks, their emotions were unmistakable. And then came the second surprise. Before walking away with security, Taehyung turned slightly toward Jungkook again, as if wanting to say something more. They exchanged a few quiet words, unheard, unseen, but definitely intense. Jungkook nodded firmly, placing a hand briefly on Taehyung's arm, a gesture so subtle yet so meaningful that fans replayed the footage endlessly, trying to decode its significance. Was the mysterious woman involved? Was there a misunderstanding? Was Taehyung's whisper a question demanding the truth, or was it a confession of fear? And what did Jungkook promise in return? The emotional charge in that moment suggests something deeper than surface-level rumors. Something personal. Something fragile. Something that neither of them expected to explode so publicly. Experts in body language who analyzed the moment pointed out the following emotional cues, not as facts, but as interpretations of human behavior in a tense emotional moment. The way Taehyung gripped Jungkook's hoodie indicated fear of loss. The way Jungkook tightened his embrace indicated regret or a need to reassure. The whisper suggested urgency. The tears pointed to emotional overwhelm that had built up for days. Fans worldwide reacted instantly. Hashtags exploded. Millions speculated. Thousands cried along with Taehyung, because the moment felt real, raw, and unfiltered. This wasn't fan service. This wasn't performance. This was two people dealing with something heavy under the crushing weight of fame, and the biggest question remains. What did Taehyung whisper? Until either of them chooses to speak publicly, that whisper will live only in that captured frame, the frame that shows a man crying into someone he trusts deeply, whispering a truth he couldn't hold back any longer. Was it a question? A plea? A confession? A heartbreak? A warning? A fear? Only Taehyung and Jungkook know. But one thing is certain. The moment changed everything. The whisper became the heartbeat of the story, and the embrace became the proof that something unspoken existed between them. Something powerful, emotional, and impossible to hide, even in the busiest airport in the world. Army, what do you think Taehyung whispered? Comment your theories below, like if this shocked you, and subscribe because the truth behind this whisper is far from over, and the next chapter might reveal even more than anyone expects. The moment after that airport whisper did not simply fade into the crowd noise or disappear into the chaos of cameras. Instead, it spread, quietly at first, like a chill running through the air, before erupting into a storm that no one, not even Taehyung or Jungkook, could have prepared for. Because while the world saw the tears, the embrace, the shock in Jungkook's eyes, there was something else captured in those few seconds, something far deeper than the surface emotion. Something that hinted that this whisper wasn't just an emotional confession, it was a revelation. But what kind of revelation could shake Jungkook to the point where his posture changed, his breath hitched, and his hand visibly trembled as he held Taehyung closer? What truth could Taehyung possibly reveal in a whisper so quiet, yet so devastating that Jungkook's heart almost seemed to stop in its aftermath? This is where the story takes a darker turn.